guys! So I just realized it's been 2 weeks that I have posted a vlog, and my apologies. I kind of struggled on what to post about next because I went from talking about my adoption story, and then after that I was like, well, where do I go? So I got an idea from my husband to talk a little bit about like my pregnancy journey and maybe give you some insight that you, I'm sure, have already heard, but on like what to expect and what could happen that you might not expect. And I am no pro. This is my first baby. I am not trying to outdo anybody that has already told these perspectives, but for my vlog and for my perspective to put it out there, I just thought it could be cool because I just want to be relatable, and like I've said, I want it to be honest and inspirational on some things maybe. So I thought it could kind of be a cool topic. So my baby is now 7 months old, and I will video her one day, but I'm not really sure how to put her on here. Maybe just give a little snippet of her somehow. But she's now 7.5 months old, and my pregnancy was pretty interesting. I found out a little before Christmas. Actually, no, on Christmas Eve I found out that I was pregnant, and about 2 weeks after finding out, I was super sick, and so I just really didn't enjoy pregnancy at first. And I kind of knew that I would be sick because I've always had car sickness, but didn't know how bad, obviously, so it was really bad. I lost a bunch of weight and to never really want to eat, but I know there are a lot of people that's happened to. But I got pretty lucky, and it was only my first trimester that I was like that. So once I got into the second trimester, I felt a lot better, and the third trimester went really well too, so I was very lucky. But I am sure that that's happened to a lot of people. Once I went to deliver Kinsley, I was 39.5 weeks, and I was induced because of having high blood pressure at my last doctor's appointment. So they admitted me to the hospital at the day of my doctor's appointment, and so I was in labor for about 30 hours, and yeah, it was crazy. Like, they gave me this medicine called Cytotec, and it kicked the contractions in like right away. It was horrible. But I stayed in the hospital, obviously, overnight, and then the next day they told me that I still hadn't dilated, so they gave me like a catheter, balloon catheter, to try and help me along, and that didn't work either. So, well, not really. I got to 3 centimeters, and then that was it. So after that, they gave me, because they knew I wanted to go like naturally per se. I got an epidural, but the other natural way. And so they tried to do what they could to help me do that, but it just was not working. So they gave me the choice, but I decided on a C-section because I just didn't want to be there for another day when I could just have her with me, So I decided on a C-section, and within 2 hours of deciding, she was here. So that was the best choice for me, but there were a bunch of opinions later that probably I could use later on if I have any more kids. But like, I got opinions from one of my friends who worked in the birthing center at the time, she was telling me that I probably could have like gone home or gone for a walk before being admitted and like induced. But being a first-time mom, I had no clue that that would be an option, you know, because I was just listening to my doctor. I was like, well, my doctor says I need to go get induced, so so that is what I did. But that does make sense. So, you know, maybe a little advice for someone that if you ever find yourself in that situation where your blood pressure is high, maybe ask them if you could go take a walk and come back and try it again. And if it's still high, then fine, do what they say. But I had not had high blood pressure at all during my pregnancy. It was always normal. So they kept saying it wasn't my fault, but I honestly could have seen it coming from like being anxious and just wanting her out. And I always got nervous when I went to the doctor. Like, it didn't matter how many times I went. I still do, really. I mean, it doesn't matter what I'm getting done. I just get anxious. So it could have been from that. I don't really know. But maybe, like I said, a little advice. You could ask them if you could, like, take a walk and see how it is after that. Before being induced, if you don't want to be induced, you know, because I didn't want to be. I wanted her to come naturally, but that didn't work out for me. So, and like I said, being a first-time mom, I was so clueless. So that's one piece of advice I would personally give. Also, when coming down to breastfeeding, I did not get to breastfeed very long. My milk took like almost a week to come in, and it was like there but not. So I was able to give her a little bit, but not really. So once it came in, it was there, but she has a lip tie, and so I think that probably affected her breastfeeding. She does just fine with everything else, but she wasn't latching very well, so I had to use a shield, and I mean, that was a pain. Like, I might as well have had the bottle, honestly. I loved breastfeeding and giving my milk, but having to put the shield on was a pain. Like, the whole point of breastfeeding is you just kind of do it, you know? So that was annoying. But she was losing weight within the first week, so, or between the first week and 2 weeks. So the doctor suggested to supplement, but so we did that, and she just got really used to the bottle. So when I would try to breastfeed, she wouldn't do it as well. So she wasn't getting enough, and like my milk was there, so I would pump and I would get nothing, and so it just, breastfeeding didn't work out for me. So none of my pregnancy or birth story really went the way I planned at all, but she is happy and healthy now, and that is the part that matters. But it was really, really hard for me. I went into deep depression for real. Yeah, I already had depression and anxiety before pregnancy, so I knew it was going to hit during pregnancy, and then after. Postpartum is a real thing. It really is. I always heard about it, but I know now that is a real thing. So, but breastfeeding wise, you could, you know, maybe try and just stick it out a little longer, other than supplementing, unless they are losing weight. I mean, that's another thing. You don't want them to be unhealthy, you know, but that was the reason I did it, because I didn't want her to lose weight and be unhealthy. But she didn't complain of being like extra hungry. That was the funny part. Like, you know how some babies like scream because of they're so hungry? She wasn't like that. Like, so I guess she could have been okay, but I just went with what the doctor said, you know, being a first-time mom. So it definitely is a lesson for the future. If I have another kid, I'll maybe do things different. Maybe that kid will be able to breastfeed, you know, who knows? So those two things probably are the biggest parts of advice that I would give. But like I said, I just wanted to share a little more about me. Some people know this, if you know me personally. But I just want to be someone that is here for anybody. If you need an ear, like if you don't have someone that actually will listen to you, I like being that person. So, if you have any questions about anything, like I said, I'm not a pro and I'm not trying to be, but I wanted to be relatable, and I apologize that this is a long message, but I just wanted to put this out here and just leading more up to my life, my story, because that's what this is. This is a vlog. So it's about my life, it's my story. So yeah. Also, one more thing, just throwing it out there, I am doing my rough draft of my book. I'm almost done with it and I'm super excited. So if anybody wants to volunteer to kind of give me some advice on publishing and putting it out there for people to, want to buy it and stuff like that, or if they want to give me advice on the actual book or advice on what to put in it, what not, I am open to those ideas. So, yeah, but I'm gonna hop off because this is a super long video. But I thank you for watching, and I hope you all are doing great during this quarantine. Hopefully you all get your stimulus check soon. I know we're all looking forward to that. But thanks for watching, and I hope you all are doing well.